Hello and welcome to episode 58 of Insights in Minutes. Today's conversation is going to about NHIs, or non-human identities, which are increasingly becoming prevalent in your organization. Picture this. Your IAM team rolls out access reviews for service accounts and API keys, and suddenly nothing works the way it does for humans. No managers to notify, no HR triggers to rely on. It's like opening a door to a maze with no clear exits.
That's exactly what we see across enterprises. I'm joining today because governing non-human identities is a whole different animal. It's not just a tweak on human models. You're about to find out why the usual rules break down, how this problem scales, and what you actually need to solve it.
Here's what we're diving into. First, the 6 big ways machine identities defy human-centric governance. Second, how those gaps grow into major risks. Third, what robust NHI governance really looks like. And finally, how platforms like CloudEagle.ai tackle these challenges head-on.
By the end, you'll know why machine identities aren't just a footnote and what concrete steps you can take to get ahead of this silent risk.
Let's start with those 6 ways non-human identity governance is fundamentally different. The first is simple, but devastating. Machine identities don't have managers. So access certifications route to nowhere or wind up rubber stamped by someone with zero context.
That's a classic scenario. Ownership for NHIs has to be assigned deliberately, not inferred from org charts. Otherwise, you get orphaned accounts no one's accountable for. And that problem only gets worse because NHIs don't have HR records, so lifecycle events like offboarding never happen automatically.
Exactly. Next, NHIs proliferate without IT visibility. Developers spin up API keys or analysts connect tools in minutes. None of it touches formal provisioning workflows. So inventories miss most of what actually exists.
And then, when it's review time, there's no one to ask. Managers understand their team's access, but NHIs often lack clear owners or context. Reviews get skipped or rubber stamped, leading to blind spots.
Plus, behavioral baselines don't translate. A human logging in at 3 a.m. is suspicious. An AI agent running jobs every 15 minutes isn't. Detection either floods with false positives or ignores NHI activity entirely.
Finally, NHIs can outlive their creators. When a person leaves, their access ends. But a machine identity just keeps going, holding whatever permissions it started with, unless someone actively intervenes. That's how you get zombie accounts lurking for years.
So, if each gap is manageable on its own, why is it such a huge headache at scale? Most organizations aren't dealing with 1 or 2 NHIs. They're facing thousands, often multiplying faster than IT can keep up.
That scale factor is brutal. Gartner found IAM teams only govern about 44% of machine identities. The rest sit outside their control, creating systemic exposure, and every unowned NHI is a standing exception. At 10, it's almost invisible. At 10,000, it's a huge structural risk.
And those risks aren't just theoretical. Gartner predicts a quarter of breaches will exploit agent-based attack surfaces by 2028, all thanks to poor machine identity management and lack of context-aware policy controls.
Plus, audit requirements are changing fast. SOC 2, ISO 2, 7001, and new AI governance frameworks now expect NHIs to be owned, reviewed, and inventoried, just like human accounts. We govern people. Machines are different. Doesn't fly with auditors anymore.
This all points to one reality. You can't just retrofit human-centric identity governance for machines. So, what does a real NHI governance program need to do differently?
First, discovery can't depend on login events. NHIs don't authenticate through SSO like people do, so you need to look at API traffic, OAuth registries, code repositories, the corners where NHIs hide. Second, ownership has to be assigned intentionally. Someone, a team, or a role must be accountable from day one.
Lifecycle management isn't tied to HR events. Instead, It's anchored to the use case the moment a project ends. Any linked NHIs should retire alongside it. That means documenting their purpose, lifespan, and connections up front.
And don't wait for incidents to trigger reviews. NHIs need scheduled, proactive review cycles, especially for ownerless identities or those tied to decommissioned systems. Credential lifecycle policy needs to replace session-based thinking rotations, expiries, and scope restrictions matter more than ever.
Let's get practical. Platforms like CloudEagle.ai are tackling these challenges by shifting the focus onto ownership and review workflows tailored for NHIs. What does that look like in practice?
CloudEagle surfaces every NHI in your SaaS and AI environments, even those created outside IT's visibility. It flags identities with no owner, letting you assign accountability to individuals, teams, or roles. That means orphaned NHIs stop accumulating in the first place.
And once ownership is set, the review path is automated. Certifications run on a defined cadence, in parallel with human access reviews. Owners are notified and prompted to certify each identity. Overdue reviews escalate automatically.
It's the same rigor you expect for human managers, adapted for machine identity ownership. The result? NHIs are governed with the same discipline, backed by automated tracking for token usage and tool sprawl.
Let's recap the big points. First, human-centric governance fails NHIs in 6 critical areas. Second, those gaps transform into major audit and security risks as scale explodes. Third, real NHI governance needs deliberate ownership, proactive review, and lifecycle management tied to purpose, not HR.
And here's what you can do next. Audit your stack for ownerless NHIs. Document their purpose and set up scheduled reviews. Don't wait for an audit or an incident to force your hand take control proactively.
Thanks for joining us. If you want to keep your enterprise secure as machine identities outnumber humans, it's time to build a governance model that's truly fit for purpose. Book a demo with us, and we'll show you how you can govern these non-human identities with a click.